Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the Grey. Today's video, we're going to start collecting Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and today we're taking a look at the Ironjawz, and in particular, the Bloodtoofs sub-faction. Now in this video, we're going to go through the special rule for the Bloodtoofs before looking at a couple of units to get started with for your collection, and after that, we're going to look at some other units we can use to expand upon and create some different options for our force. After that, and finally finishing off the video, we'll show you a sample 1000 point armor list for you to use, hopefully as some inspiration for starting your own force of the Bloodtoof Ironjawz for Warhammer Age of Sigmar. And so, to begin with, first of all, we have the Hunt and Crush special rule. At the end of the combat phase, friendly Bloodtoof Gore Grunter units that fought in that phase and are within 3 inches of any enemy units can make a pile-in move. In addition, those that fought but are not within 3 inches of enemy units can each make a normal move or attempt a charge. This might not seem like a lot on the face of it, but it really does mean you can keep your opponent pinned into the combat with your big, strong units if you need to. This is super powerful, can really stop your opponent's turns being able to do anything. You know, being able to charge into a shooting unit out of phase means they can't use things like Unleash Hell, or make these moves as well means they can't use things like redeploy in these phases, which is really cool. So you can get into your opponent's lines, really sort of force them to have to react, or, you know, potentially with shooting units, make sure if you've got, you know, smaller sort of units that aren't, you know, necessarily your most valuable Gore Grunter units, you can push them into shooting units so that they can't target maybe bigger, more important units of Gore Grunters, or indeed even other units on the table that are maybe in a more advantageous position like holding objectives, etc. Today's video is brought to you by Gap Games, a fantastic retailer in Australia for a variety of different miniature war games. If you'd like to help support the channel, we have an affiliate link where by clicking on and purchasing, you'll help support the channel, but you'll also help support Gap Games, which is a fantastic servant to the community. And so, where to get started with for our Ironjawz, and I think a great character that works alongside our Gore Grunters, which of course we are going to look at as the first unit, because Bloodtoofs is all about the Gore Grunters. Also of note that Gore Grunters do become battle line in our Bloodtoofs force. The Auric War Chanter, though, for me is a great way to buff up this unit with a variety of different abilities. Now, first of all, you have Violent Fury, where you're allowed to pick a friendly Ironjawz unit within 15 inch, hollow within 15 inch, and you can add +1 to the damage inflicted by attacks with melee weapons by that unit. This is super powerful on things like your Gore Grunters, who do have quite a few attacks coming out of each model. You've then also got things like your War Beats, where you can pick one of the following: either Fix and Beat, which is a healing one, Get and Beat, which allows you to charge 3d6 range, including declare charge up to 18 inch away. Super powerful, especially for those out of phase charges as well, which is really nice. You know, this would sort of go on that little ability of if you manage to destroy a unit, you can redeclare a charge. 18 inch is super fun. But Killer Beat as well allows you to get +1 to hit, so a way to potentially not have to spend points or command points on things like all out attack is nice as well. Now, what's really cool is this model isn't a priest or anything like that. These beats are something sort of its own thing. It doesn't have any way to sort of stop them unless, you know, it fails to get them off itself. Now, the Auric Gore Grunters are the unit we're going to take a look at as well. They become battle line, obviously, for playing in this sub-faction. They're really nice. 5 wounds each, 4+ save, movement 9 and bravery 6. A pretty solid stat line, meaning you get 15 wounds in there. Now, you've got the option for 2 different weapons. You've got the Pig Iron Choppers, which give you more attacks, but for me, it's Jagged Gore Hackers all the way. 3 attacks, 3s and 3s, red -2, damage 1. And of course, with that Auric War Chanter, they will be damage 2 if you can get the buff off. And the Gore Grunter charge as well allows you to deal some mortal wounds, and if you've got Jagged Gore Hackers, they actually do this ability better than they would with the other weapon options. And so, where to look next? For me, the Weird Elf Shaman is a really fun pick for an additional hero. You've got a really fun lore of spells for the Ironjawz available to you, with things like the Great Green Hand of Gork, which is a teleport, +1 to wound, and some good mortal wound damage dealing as well. On top of that, you have the Green Puke spell, which is your own War Scroll mortal wound damage dealing, and if you've got friendly Aurics nearby as well, you potentially can cast it 2 times per phase. Now, the more grunted gouges, of course, if we're looking at the army of little pigs, why not think about including some big pigs? The more grunted gouges are really fun. They're a unit of behemoths that can be taken on 1 or 2 models, or if you do have the boss, the Tusk boss on more grunter, you can make them battle lines. You can take them up to units of 3, which is really cool. But for me, Monstrous Regiment means you can only ever do 1 Monstrous Rampage, regardless of how many models are in the unit. But they've got some fun things. Unstoppable momentum. With the momentum rolls on these units, they actually get stronger the more they run and charge. And they can get run and charge if they've got a momentum score of 4 or more. And if they've got that momentum score higher, they will get extra move, they'll get extra damage on their Mighty Tusk, all of which is really nice. Now, they do have a Monstrous Rampage all of their own, flattened into the mud, which can help you potentially give the Strike Last effect to enemy units that have a wounds characteristic of 1 or 2. The other version, or the other non-hero version we can build out of the kit is the More Grunter with Hacking Crew. The kill choppers on this unit, the little sidecar Oryx, will get more damage depending on how your unstoppable momentum is going. And it has its own Monstrous Rampage where it effectively can charge through enemy units it's in combat with. Now, the last thing I want to talk about, we're definitely going for, a heavy sort of speed-mounted Auric force here. And where would we be without talking about the biggest monster of them all, the Mega Boss on Maw Crusher? 18 wounds and a 4+ save. This thing has an amazing amount of punch and damage it can put out. It does mortal wounds when it charges as well, along with its ability to shout out multiple of the same command per turn to friendly Ironjawz units, which is really nice. And so here we have our sample army list. Now, we're obviously in the Bloodtoofs, Mortal Realm of Gurg, because that's what we're sort of playing at the moment. Now we've got our grand strategy, War. War means we just have to have either a friendly battle line unit or the model picked to be our general in our opponent's territory at the end of the game. And then we have no triumph because we are a perfect 1,000 points here. Now we've then got the Oracle Weird Knob Shaman, who's going to be our general and master of the weird. This will allow them to take an extra spell, which must be from the Great Green Spell Law. Which means we've then also got an artifact, Amulet of Destiny, for a little bit of ward protection. And then we've also taken the universal spell, Levitate. I think this is a really good spell to be taken when you're looking at Gore Grunters. One of the big issues they're going to face is they don't have fly. So being able to have fly to jump over screens, to sort of get over terrain that might be in the way, is super, super useful. The second spell we've picked, which has to be from the Ironjawz lore, is Bash 'em Lads for +1 to wound. Our Auric War Chanter then has the War Beat of Get 'em Beat, which is 3d6 charges, and then for Battle Line we have a unit of 6 Gore Grunters and a unit of 3 Gore Grunters, all with Jagged Gore Haggers. Rounding out the force is a single More Grunter Gouger, everything wrapped up in a battle regiment for a 1-drop force that's going to be charging right into your opponent's lines turn 1. If you've got some ideas though on your own mounted Auric force, let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And that's the end of the video. We hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and also drop a comment down below letting us know what you thought about the video. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our fine little community here at Sinful Gaming, we have a Discord server linked down in the video's description. Also linked down in the video's description are the best ways to help support the channel. You can use one of our affiliate links to Gap Games or Element Games if you're in Australia or the United Kingdom, or you can subscribe to our YouTube members or Patreon, or grab some merch from our merch stores on Teespring or Ko-fi. All the best ways to help support the channel. As a special thanks to all our Patreon and YouTube members, we'd like to give them all a shout out. So thank you to our Patrons, Broken Chef, Andy C, Grimskull, Colorblind Magic, Benjamin Swallows, James Cater, Mark Harvey, Domir, Average Wargamer, JJ Austrian, Cure Dynamic, Andrew Bowen, Outer and Shot First, Kenny Lowell and Soren, and to our YouTube members, Green Roots Gaming, Ronya, Lock Lorick, The Johnny84, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Monty's Tabletop Terrain, James Tillman, Disco, John Castle, and Gargamel196. Thank you all once again for watching. Like, subscribe, comment down below. Stay safe everyone, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Ciao for now.